Right, good evening. Welcome everybody to my next late night stream. And it's U-boat again. So once more we slip into the role of a German submarine commander in Second World War. And yeah, what I do here, it's a complete playthrough through the whole war from the very beginning of September 39 till, well, now. It's early November 43, which means we are 4 years into the war. And I did stream after stream. I shared the whole experience up to now with you, my dear watchers and listeners, on Twitch. And since a while I'm also uploading the streams to YouTube. So you guys on YouTube, thank you very much as well. There is a nice little community watching what I do. And yeah, well, I just don't have the time to cut the videos, so I upload the whole stream and you can pick, yeah, the good parts. Let me put it like that. And yeah, we are in the Mediterranean at the moment, so we already saw plenty of the world, having started here in the port of Wilhelmshaven, doing missions in the North Sea, in the close Atlantic, then having upgraded to the next larger submarine, the Type 7, which allowed us, with the support of the milk cows supply submarines, to get to the other side of the pond and do missions there. Then we went back and did the Arctic Convoys mission set, which was pretty tough. Luckily we did it in summer, not in winter, so we had a lot of daylight, and then finally ventured through the Strait of Gibraltar, and now we are doing this mission set here. And okay, I just recognized that in the title of the stream I do a bit of an understatement. It's just 4,000 tons left for the next stage of the Battle of the Mediterranean. So we did sink quite a few ships now on this patrol, although it was a bit of a pain to find them, because in these parts here we only ran into fishermen. So it was mainly single merchants without escorts, so yeah, we still have a few torpedoes left. But yeah, now let's return back to our home base, and on the way back do one or the other hydrophone check. Maybe we can find some more victims. It's night time, it's 16 knots, pretty much of a swell going. And yeah, here we are. Let me delete these markers. So that they don't disturb our hopefully plenty of new contacts. Yeah, I actually checked out the port of Alexandria briefly, but yeah, it looked pretty tough to get in. It was well guarded, and so I decided not to go in for a port raid. It's 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the game, and yeah, let's go. Well, let's, as usual, let's give it a save. New stream, new save. W435, and there we go. Yeah, let's give it a bit of a time acceleration. Change of watch. No, not yet. Alright guys, so let's do another hydrophone check and see if there is any moving propeller in the vast listening range. As soon as we dive underneath the surface and get away from the choppy sea, the noise of the waves and the wind and the weather, down there at 50 feet, 50 meters, in the complete silence, the hydrophone develops an enormous range. And down there we should be able to detect just any moving propeller in a radius of 90 or 80 miles. Maybe we have a little bit of a reduced range due to the choppy sea we have up here. And down we go.
Meter.
25 meters. Yeah, the discipline is still perfect. The crew had 3 weeks shore leave before this trip.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Now we are listening. Mr. Hinrich. Let's see what is the radius. I would think we have a bit of a reduced range. Yeah, well, let's wait. They're gonna turn off the engines and then the range will be a bit more even. I think. No, they already have turned off the engine, so we have quite some reduced range. It's only 65 miles, while in the best weather it's up to more than 90 miles of radius.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Yeah, we are almost to 50% of fuel, so not a bad idea to get back home.
55 Meter.
Ja.
And obviously no contact at the moment. Yeah, we are. It's just about sunrise up there. 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's winter, so let's see, maybe the sunrise is a bit later. Yeah, let's accelerate. The crew is gonna keep the boat down at 50 meters for 5 minutes of silent listening. And then they're gonna turn on the engines again, get the water out of the ballast tanks. and get back to the surface. Ballast tanks are 100% flooded, and in a minute one of the officers is going to open the valves so that our compressed air is going to rush into the ballast tanks and push the water out.
Anblasen.
Yeah, that's unblasen. It means blow the tank here. You see Mr. Schultz opening the valves, and now compressed air, you hear it,
45
is
Meter.
rushing into the ballast tanks.
Aktuelle Tiefe 25 Meter.
And there we are, back to the surface.
5 Meter. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Yeah, there we see the day coming, but yeah, maybe the sky is so overcast that we wouldn't see the sunrise. So here we are at 6:30.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet. Torpedorohr 2 gewartet. Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Now there she comes. Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, and we are just changing course. Let's give it a save. And let's carry on with accelerated time. Mr. Schultz, please care for the navigational correctness. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock we are gonna do a hydrophone check again.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
You never know. Not that we miss any valuable target. We still have torpedoes left. Quite a lot, actually. Yeah, that's so wonderfully animated. You see the crew running to the front compartment. At least the off-watch crew.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren
And
wechseln.
down we go.
Meter. 45 Meter.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, Mr. Strauss at the hydrophone. So please.
Meter. 55 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Yeah, this is something that I find so amazing.
Zwei gewartet.
I mean,
Handelsschiff.
ah, nice. Of course, it could still be a fisherman, but let's hope for the best
55 Meter.
and mark it on the map for now. So another contact, single contact. Oh, 5, I think it is. So this is what I wonder if I look at that beautiful picture here of the submerged submarine. There is the deck gun and there is the flag. And I always wonder how, well, I mean, salt water is really the most aggressive stuff that you can imagine. And a gun is such a fine mechanical tool. So how can they keep the gun running when it's constantly under seawater? That's something that I find pretty amazing. Oh, hi. Uncle Bot, yeah, great. Nice. Ah, it's you, Jimbo. Captain Jimbo, thank you very much for the raid. And you bring Uncle Bot with you. Now I see. Good evening. Or shall I say good afternoon? So it's one good evening and one good afternoon, right? Yeah, how are you? How is your weekend going? And how was your Saturday? Yeah. Yes, we have 7 hours of time difference.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Uncle Bot. Yeah, and Captain Jimbo, we have the 1 hour, I think, isn't it? Ah, okay, yeah. Also over there at your place. Around here, we have pretty, a spell of pretty hot weather at the moment. Since Thursday or Wednesday. Yeah, right? It's an hour. I'm never quite sure. Yeah, well, it does work, but yeah, for me it's fine. I don't have any bugs or something. It's just like, I would say the advent of the Type 9 was a little bit overrated, at least for me. At 26 degrees, yeah, pretty chilly, yep.
Anblasen.
Hey, Uncle Bot, you have been in the last 5 streams. Oh yeah, you were always just briefly noting that you're lurking, right? Yep. And Captain Jimbo with the 3 streams series. Yes, nice. Yeah, and by the way, you brought a few more guys. You didn't just bring Uncle Bot with you, so all you guys which came in with Captain Jimbo, welcome, welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to have you. So we do have that contact. Now let's be optimistic and assume that it's just one standard convoy moving with 8 knots. So after 1 hour, they should be somewhere on that circle. And we are gonna go flank now. So 1 hour would see us there.
Äußerste Kraft voraus.
Yeah, let's go for it, and fingers crossed that this is not just another fisherman. Yeah, that's pretty hot. We don't have it that hot around here usually. Not approaching 40 degrees. If it's something like 30 degrees around here, it's already pretty hot. Yes, humidity, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, here in Germany we have a relatively moderate climate. And to be honest, I quite like my country for its moderate climate. I mean, if global warming kicks in, maybe I will have to move to something like Sweden or Norway. But for now, it's still alright. And what I also quite like about Germany is that we don't have any dangerous animals here. I mean, no poisonous snakes or spiders or something like that. Yeah, I have this. I quite like this little story. I once went to the US job wise. So we went to Newark, and from Newark we took a car and drove something like 3 hours into Pennsylvania and visited our site there. So it was a dependence of our company. And yeah, we met a very nice guy there. Pretty much enjoyed the time. But there was this incident in the evening. We wanted to have dinner, and we went to a parking lot and, well, parked somewhere, and then, well, our colleague, our US colleague, he was starting to walk to the restaurant, and I said, hey, come on, we could just take a shortcut across the meadow. And he said, I wouldn't recommend it. And I asked, hey, why? And he said, because of the snakes. So, when you are stupid German, you might pretty quickly end up having quite some problems. Because you are just not aware that you could run into dangerous animals in a civilized surrounding. This is something that just doesn't cross your mind. Yeah, let's do a bit of time acceleration. There we go. Hey, Oblivion. Good evening. I hope you're fine. The Italian Navy also had 150 submarines. Amazing. Yeah, I somehow thought that the Germans were the only ones who really had a submarine navy, which is worth mentioning, but that's not quite true, right? Here we are, 1 hour. Let's give it the next hydrophone check, and yeah, fingers crossed that this guy's not just another fisherman. Was it? But only after the war, right? I mean, the first 3 years of the war, the Italians fought alongside with the Germans. And then they officially surrendered, but Germany actually took over whole Italy.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter. E-Motoren wechseln.
Maybe it was then when they did demolish the navy.
25 Meter.
Something like mid of 43. Down we go. Yeah, I pretty much like that story about the snakes on that parking lot, because I felt pretty stupid. Like, imagine that we wouldn't have had that American guy with us. I would have just started walking through the high grass without thinking about that.
55 Meter.
Schraubengeräusch. Hügel, Teilung 345 Grad. Herr Kapitän?
50 Meter.
All right, that could be. That could be that. Yeah, okay. I think we are not dealing with a fisherman, but with a real merchantman. Let's see that we get the guy. We still have torpedoes.
55 Meter.
We still have quite a few torpedoes. Let's see, maybe we can even reach him in daylight. Yeah, that sounds pretty large to me. I really don't have a comparison. I have no idea what the overall number of, like, for example, do you know, or does anybody know what the number of submarines, German submarines, was in the beginning of the war?
Anblasen.
Ah, amazing.
35 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 15 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotorenwechsel.
Frikadellen sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, I think the Italians do have
Koordinaten setzen.
quite some naval tradition. Like these cities of Genua or Venice. There were real, seafaring cities in Italy always. Now that guy, roughly continuing on this course. 1 more hour would bring him there, and 1 more hour would bring us there. Still going flank speed. I'll give it a save. And yes. It's pretty sure it's a merchantman and no fisherman. (1:15) till 2:15. 1 hour. And let's see that we get another data point then. Here we are.
Tauchen auf.
And another hydrophone check.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
Yeah, just a bit of water in the bilge. Completely uncritical. Okay. I mean, the British, yeah. (66 cruisers),
25 Meter. Turbengeräusch.
but not too many submarines, actually, yeah.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30 Meter. 30
All right.
50 Meter.
Yeah, they are pretty much exactly where I extrapolated them to be. 0.05. There they are.
50 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
And it would be 3 miles, yep. Let's see that we get that guy.
Herr Kapitän.
55 Meter.
Sometime acceleration. Like usual, I finished the hydrophone contact,
Uhr 1 gewartet.
Anblasen.
even if we already
Auf Dieselmotor.
found the contact
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
or confirmed the contact. Yeah, sorry guys, I just need to have a little bit of a late night snack.
Ich bin sehr müde. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, we should already see the smoke. There it is.
Alarm. Handelsschiff in Sicht. Peilung 50 Grad.
Which one? Okay, it's pretty clear. It's this one. Velocity 7 knots. And angle on bow at the moment pretty much looks like 90 degrees. Yeah, Captain Jimbo, thank you very much for the raid. And looking forward to see you again. Have a good night. Yeah, it's 50 degrees. So, it's pretty clear, something like 78. Yeah, something like that is the angle on bow. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, let's give it a save, and then my plan is actually not to torpedo them, but to scare them off their ship, make them abandon the ship, so that we could just board it and sink it. Right now we are not in a good position to do a submerged approach. Yeah, in the game there is very few air support or air cover in the Mediterranean up to now. Don't know if this is realistic. But guys, you can step away from battle station.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, the sea is relatively quiet at the moment. Almost.
Kurs setzen.
Hey, hey, weight loss, good evening. How are you doing? Yeah, you're just coming in for the right time. Let's hope that this is gonna be a smooth kill. I want to scare them off the boat, off the ship. Make them abandon their ship. Let me scuttle it. Saving some expensive torpedoes for the Reich. For the Reich. Yeah, I don't know. Don't quite like myself saying something like that, but, well, we have to admit that we are slipping into the role of the bad guys in this game. Yeah, so let's be good bad guys.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
So they are at 90 degrees at the moment, which means they must be somewhere there, and their angle and bow on us would... ah, shit. Huh? What was that? And their angle on bow on us would be this one. It's something like 20 degrees. Yep, yeah, good. And can we guesstimate the distance?
Aktualisieren. Entfernung.
Yeah,
3,
2 miles.
6 Meter.
Something like 2 nautical miles. Yeah. It does make sense.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
The data pretty much makes sense. But it might be that they are trying to run away. They are turning around.
Kurs setzen.
If you ask me, it looks a bit like that. Looks, yeah, they are changing course.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Äußerste Kraft voraus.
It's British, isn't it? They have changed course, definitely.
Kurs setzen.
Now another estimate of the distance.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 3, 2, 2, 4 Meter.
Still so far away?
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 3, 1, 1 Meter. Lage 8 links. Geschwindigkeit 7 Knoten.
Yeah, they have altered their course by 90 degrees, but maybe they're recognizing that they just couldn't escape. By the way, allow me to be AFK for 1 minute. Alright, back again. Thanks for your patience. We are going for that guy. Was it? Was it really 2 minutes? Okay. Wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, now it looks like they gave up to escape from us. At least they're not changing course again. There they are. And it's British, yes. No surprise. And now it's 1 mile away. And they are turning again. They're trying to turn away from us. Yeah, isn't it? Perfect deck gun weather. Yeah, the sea is relatively calm. Good visibility. But I would still try to convince them to abandon ship before I start firing. Ah, they're actually zigzagging now.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 1149 Meter.
Should be something like 700 yards or something. So Mr. Schultz will man the deck gun. What do you mean by that? Have you been in 350 streams in a row, or don't quite? Okay, all right. Wow. Wow.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
After your crew send the light signals that you are going to sink this ship, a commotion is quickly seen on deck and the crew is leaving the ship. Alright. Very
Alle Maschinen
good.
stopp.
Let's give it a save. Yeah, that's quite an impressive size, actually. Let's send a team to the freighter. So, who's gonna go? Mr. Schneider. Mr. Grade. And the bosun, Mr. Schulz. And 7 hands. Go. Yeah, pretty nice, this little animation with the Zodiac. Go for the engine room. And yeah, let's make it short and scuttle the ship. Lifeboat 2. I'm already full. Yeah, they are going down. Lifeboat to get some supplies. And Lifeboat 1 gets some supplies as well, so this will increase our reputation a bit, being not completely merciless.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
And there we go. Back home to La Spezia.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
No, don't run that boat down, please. Don't. Hi, good evening, Aqua Icing. Nice to have you in. I hope you're not just coming into the stream witnessing me running down a lifeboat. No, okay. Just missed it. Very good.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, that would be a war crime, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, how was your day? Oh, not. Doesn't sound good. Did you have to work today? But yeah, just as you like, maybe sometimes. Sometimes it's good to talk about a bad day, and sometimes it's good to just forget it and not talk about it. Whatever you think is best. That doesn't sound good. That really doesn't sound good. I hope your wife is all right.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Funkraum besetzen.
Yes, send the report back to headquarters.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
Okay, we did it. We did the 100,000 tons to reach the next level. Well, oh god, that's not good. And is she alright by now, or is it something serious? Yeah, so I hope she's getting well soon. So, did you take her back home, or Did she stay in the hospital? Yeah, I hope she's getting well soon. Not good. Yep. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Ich bin sehr müde.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, so what did the doctor say? Did he give some kind of estimation when she's gonna be well again?
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Yeah, come on, we still have torpedoes. Why not doing another hydrophone check?
50 Meter.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a long time. So she is really, yeah, really down. Yeah, I really hope she's gonna be fine.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Schraubengeräusch. Pi. 35 Grad.
Propellers detected again.
25 Meter.
Let's call it our contact single 06.
Ja?
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter. Meter.
2 gewartet.
55 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Anblasen. 40 Meter. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
So now again, let's do some assumptions and assume that this guy is just an ordinary merchant moving with 8 knots, and we are gonna go flank speed. So in 1 hour we will be there. Time is 10 past 11, so let's go for 10 past 12. Yeah, it's alright. It's pretty good actually. So I had been running into this single merchant, and if you look at it, I have the 100,000 tons, so I am gonna get the boat upgrade, and I reached that next level 2 of the Battle of the Mediterranean. So in total, it's not bad.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
So now get the second data point about this guy to judge whether it's a merchantman, which is worthwhile to hunt down, or just a fisherman.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter. E-Motoren wechseln.
Yeah, now let's see if it's a fisherman. If it's a fisherman, it would be moving with, yeah, just half the speed. It would be clearly detectable.
Aktuelle Tiefe
Yeah, I sometimes wonder whether I should install that mod where you have more variation of the speed. But of course, this constant speed is also kind of comfortable, particularly because I never understood how to use this speed determination tool with the with the periscope.
55 Meter.
Never quite got it running. I always do the speed estimation with the hydrophone checks, hourly hydrophone checks. And this only works if they would not dynamically change their speed too often. Hey, where are you?
Herr Kaloy?
No contact at the moment. Yeah, but also it depends on the course, right? You would also have to put the cosine of the angle between their course and your course into account or something like that. And this is what I never quite saw. At that point, I think it's not quite realistic. It should pretty much depend on their course. I mean, if they are on a course which is perpendicular to your line of sight towards the target, then it's fine. But if it has some certain angle, then I think you really would have to multiply your result with the cosine of the angle. Is it the cosine or the sine? Not quite sure, but I think probably it's the cosine. I would have to put it onto the paper.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 295 Grad.
Yeah, okay, so you would assume that for small, well, or for angles close to 90 degrees, angle of bow on bow close to 90 degrees, it would be close to 1. So yeah, so the cosine of 0 is, yeah, close to 1 actually. Even if you are just closely around 0, you could still approximate it with 1. Yeah, maybe that's the point. Yeah, I don't want to go nitpicking about that. Bottom line just is that I never really got any decent results, but maybe it's just my, yeah, not yet quite getting how to do it.
Anblasen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Yeah, if you look at the angle on bow, so if the angle on bow would be something like 90 degrees, yeah, so it's probably not the cosine, but maybe more the sine if you look at the angle on bow.
Kaloy, Sie sind aufgetaucht.
I wouldn't bet my farm on that. let's not have that geometric discussion in detail. And I'm pretty sure that you are much better with it. You are a navigator. So I could only embarrass myself if I dive into that discussion too deep, I think. Yeah, what I mean is if you are looking at the cosine of 0 is pretty close to 1. And the sine of 90 degrees is also pretty close to 1. And if you have some deviation, it wouldn't make too much of a difference. So you would still be close to 1. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's the point. That's exactly the point. The AOB has to be close to 90 degrees. Yep. 100% agree. Only if you don't have the angle on bow close to 90 degrees, then you're starting to introduce some errors. And this is what I find difficult to, I mean, front up, usually when I approach a target at the beginning, it's not AOB of 90 degrees. The 90 degrees AOB is just in the very final phase of the approach. And then I usually don't have the time to additionally do this speed measurement. So I usually try to do it front up, and that doesn't make sense because then you don't have the 90 degrees angle on bow. Yep. I actually never do it. I always take the speed from my hydrophone checks. No, I was talking. Shit. So, we were so deep in the discussion. We have to do another hydrophone check. I completely missed it.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 345 Grad.
50 Meter.
Yeah, these guys are definitely fishermen. If I look at the number of watches, I think we pretty much bored away a few guys with that geometric discussion. Or actually, I started that discussion, so I bored them away. Sorry, guys.
50 Meter.
But yeah, the bottom line is that weight loss and me, we are pretty much in phase. It's like you have to do this check when the angle on bow is close to 90 degrees, or you would introduce a larger and larger error. Yeah.
50 Meter.
Come on, let's get back to the surface. This guy is definitely a
Anblasen.
fisherman moving that slow. Let's see that we just get back to our home port.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Meter.
Meter. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Kurs setzen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi.
etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Bestätige.
Halbe
Let's
Fahrt
not
voraus.
go flank speed, that's a waste of fuel.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Bestätige. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloi.
Hey, Camarados. Nice to have you in. Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce it like I would guess it would be correct. Please correct me if I did mispronounce it completely. I probably did. I'm so glad to have you in. Just my French is not pretty good. Camaradur. Camaradur. I wish I would be a bit better in French. How are you doing? How was your Saturday, by the way? Yeah, we are having a pretty good trip here because finally we reached the 100,000 tons mark. So when we get back home, we should get that boat upgrade point.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Bestätige.
On we go.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Deckgeschütz besetzen.
No, please,
Navigation
not the
besetzen.
deck gun. Alright, let's give it a save. And carry on to get back home.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloi.
Ich benötige benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Navigation besetzen.
40% of fuel left. Yeah, I think we are gonna get back home like that.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, that's the question. That's really the question. Would we invest that blueprint to upgrade to the Type 9? But I'm still hesitant. It's so late in the war, I think there is no time to really go to the Indian Ocean and do the missions there. So I somehow feel that I would like to stick to the Type 7. We will see.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Navigation besetzen.
Yeah, so you would say it's still worthwhile to switch for the Type 9. Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's a good reason to actually do it.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Let's give it one more save.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
There we are, heading back home. We are almost there. It's the Type 7. Type 7, let me see, to be precise. The Type 7C.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Here we go, get close to the port. So I wonder what would be the advantages that I get with the Type 7C for 1. Which improvements would I get compared to this boat that I'm sailing right now?
Herr Kaloin, wir befinden uns in flachen Gewässern.
Yeah, of course we do.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Yep, I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely gonna do that. I just don't have the menu available right now, I think, have I? Yeah, we are gonna check that one. Yeah, from my point of view, it's not that, of course, that you don't have it. It would be interesting if you could see the different boats already before you would actually have to do the choice. Ah, yeah, okay. But that's a bit too tedious, actually, to go there. There is a nice screen that you get when you're back in the port. And so far, you're right. And this is the one screen that I'm gonna check then.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, let's... Yeah.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Yeah, let's see what we get when we are back in port.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Some more time acceleration. Ah, no! That was close. I thought we got a collision. I really thought we got a collision. We didn't.
Kurs setzen.
I'm moving too fast.
Kleine Fahrt, voraus.
Alarm! Dafür haben wir Turnier
Oh, come on, please, not an air raid. Please, not an air raid. Don't give me an air raid here in port. Alarm fishing boat. 95 degrees. Come on, you're not giving me an alarm for a fishing boat, are you, Mr. Schultz?
Alarm beendet.
I was already thinking that we get an air raid on the port. Yeah, one more prank for this voyage here. A good joke for the final approach into port. And there we go.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Zielposition erreicht. Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
All right. Here we are. Yeah, that was the autosave. Give me also a manual save. And then I have to be AFK for another 60 seconds. Let's see if this time I actually match the 60 seconds. Be back in a minute. All right, back again. Yeah, okay, still 1.5 minutes. So I have to get better to actually reach the 60 seconds that I promise. Yeah, well, I already had a bit of a snack tonight, which was crisps. I had a few crisps here, but maybe that was before you entered the stream. I'm not quite sure. Yep. Yeah, weight loss, yep. That would be the better strategy, actually. So why put pressure on yourself? Now mission complete. Again, alarm. One, two, three, four, five. Did we sink 5 ships? Okay, we finally reached that next level. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was it. 5 ships sunk, obviously. Pretty alright. And we get an additional officer and the 12,000 bucks. Crew's experience has increased. Yeah, but my officers are all maxed out.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Ah, see, we are almost there for the next specialization point. I really love that concept. They introduced it something like a year ago. That you had that specialization for crewmates. And yeah, I still think they have to kind of alter or think about what to do with the skilled system of the officers. I mean, it's great. I quite like it, but the problem is that after 1 year, all of your officers are completely leveled out to the max. And they need to give you some, some goal later in the game. There should still be some upgrading, not only in the first year. Yeah, give it a save. W437. And now see what we do. Yeah. Enemy AI. I think the enemy AI is not too bad. Problem is, if they would improve it, it would become even harder, would it? So one thing is like the depth charts. When you put yourself in onto the ground at something like 80 meters, let me put it like that, then they drop depth charts upon you and they just don't explode. This is something, for example, where I would say there we need some tweaking for the AI. Yeah, okay, yeah, they shouldn't. You should never drop depth charts when you're that slow, because it might rip your own hull, right? I think this is what you mean. Yeah, I agree. That could be more consistent. Yeah. It doesn't feel completely, wrecked for me. It still feels alright, but you're right. They could improve that. And that would be important. That would be really one important thing. And so they did put a lot of effort into the development of the Type 9, which is perfectly fine, even great, but yeah, still, for me, there would have been other priorities. I don't need the Type 9 that urgently. Better these improvements that we are discussing right now. So I hope that they're going for them in the next weeks and months.
Alarm beenden.
All right. Open the port menu. Flotilla. Chief.
Ja, Herr Kommandant. Was benötigen Sie? Gute Jagd, Herr Kommandant.
Guten Tag, Herr Kommandant. Einige Männer haben sich gemeldet, sie könnten eine gute Ergänzung für Ihre Besatzung sein. Womit kann ich Ihnen heute behilflich sein? Verstanden. Ich werde Sie umgehend registrieren.
Alright.
Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Sehr gut, Herr Kommandant.
Not for
Kommen Sie
now.
jederzeit zu mir, wenn Sie noch etwas benötigen.
Herr Kommandant, gut, Sie wiederzusehen. Was führt Sie zu mir? Nach dem, was Sie geleistet haben? Betrachten Sie es als erledigt. Gibt es noch etwas da? Sehr gut. Gute Jagd da draußen, Herr Kommandant.
Okay, so where do we get supplies?
Ja, Herr Kommandant. Was benötigen Sie? Gute Jagd, Herr Kommandant.
Guten Tag, Herr Kommandant. Einige Männer haben sich gemeldet, sie könnten eine gute Ergänzung für... Sehr gut, Herr Kommandant. Kommen Sie jederzeit.
The
Guten Tag, Herr
quartermaster,
Was
yeah,
kann ich für Sie tun?
that makes sense.
Verstanden. Ich zeige Ihnen die verfügbaren Optionen.
We already have the best conning tower. Best gun. Yeah, no painting.
Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Jawohl, das steht derzeit zur Verfügung.
Items, explosives. Now the torpedoes. T3, T3, T1, T3. So 1 T1 and another T1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, what about the external storage? T3, T1. Is there an air raid
Sonst
going
noch
on?
etwas, Herr Kommandant? Jawohl, das steht derzeit zur Verfügung.
Ammo, provisions, equipment. Let's sell these medkits.
Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Sehr gut. Kommen Sie zu mir, wenn Sie etwas benötigen, Herr Kommandant.
Now. Okay, yes. You're right. I wasn't thinking about that. But where can I switch boats?
Guten Tag, Herr Kommandant. Sehr gut. Kommen Sie zu mir, wenn Sie etwas benötigen.
Herr Kommandant, gut, Sie wiederzusehen. Was führt Sie zu mir? Sind Sie Ihres derzeitigen Bootes überdrüssig oder hat es schon bessere Tage gesehen? Nun gut, sehen wir uns an, was die Werften derzeit für uns bereithalten.
Überdrüssig. So, could I go for that one? Yeah, come on, shall we? What do you think? I think there were voices in the chat who said, this is an old school boat, don't take it. But it's, yeah, fast, it's long range, it has more torpedoes. Yeah, I'm pretty undecisive, I have to admit. But it would be a pity not to try it now that we have it. And I hope that most of the bugs of the boat are leveled out by now, aren't they? There is an air raid going on.
Gibt es noch etwas, das Sie benötigen?
I thought it sounded like that. It was a telephone. Yeah, I hope it's gonna work with the Deep Leaks mod. Did you try it with the Deep Leaks mod? Alright, I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it.
Herr Kommandant. Gut, sind Sie Ihres derzeitigen Bootes überdrüssig oder hat es schon bessere Tage gesehen? Nun gut, sehen wir uns an, was die Werften derzeit für uns bereithalten.
Überdrüssig. This is a very old school German word. Alright, here we are.
Gibt es noch etwas, das Sie benötigen?
Ja, Herr Kommandant. Was Bute jagt, Herr Kommandant.
Guten Tag, Herr Kommandant. Sehr gut, Herr Kommandant. Kommen Sie
Guten
jederzeit
Tag,
zu
Herr
mir, wenn Sie
Kommandant.
noch etwas benötigen.
Was kann ich für Sie tun? Jawohl, das steht derzeit zur Verfügung.
Okay.
Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Verstanden. Ich zeige Ihnen die verfügbaren Optionen.
Überdrüssig. Yes, it's a beautiful word. With the two Ü, überdrüssig. That's really a old school German, very German word.
Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Verstanden. Ich zeige Ihnen die Verfügung. Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Jawohl, das steht derzeit zur Verfügung.
Don't I have more inventory slots in that larger boat? Yes, 2 identical umlauts in one word, yeah.
Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Sehr gut. Kommen Sie zu mir, wenn Sie etwas benötigen.
Herr Kommandant. Gut, sind Sie Ihres derzeitigen Bootes überdrüssig oder hat es schon bessere Tage gesehen? Nun gut, sehen wir uns an, was die Werften derzeit für uns bereithalten.
Alarm! Auf Gefechtsstation!
Okay, what? Oh, come on. I wouldn't dare to save here, to be honest. Yeah, well. Give it a new save, W438. And load it. That's really a bit weird. Yeah, fingers crossed that it's gonna work. Yes, we are. All right. Okay, the galley is a 4. One, two, 3, 4. Just 4 stores.
Die Sichtverhältnisse sind bei diesen Wetterbedingungen schlecht. Das sollte uns zugute kommen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Guten Tag, Herr Kommandant. Was kann ich für Sie tun?
Yes, finally got a wooden folding for privacy, yeah.
Jawohl, das steht derzeit zur Verfügung.
Wow, that's shitty. There are all these shitty torpedoes. Tier 1, 3.
Sonst noch etwas, Herr Kommandant? Sehr gut. Kommen Sie zu mir, wenn Sie etwas benötigen, Herr Kommandant.
Yeah, alright. So, yeah, it's getting late, so I'm gonna make these decisions tomorrow in our next stream. Yeah, that's quite a problem to get decent torpedoes that late in the war, obviously. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day. It's getting late, 2:30. And yeah, it was a busy week. So guys, thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure to have you, and I'm not quite sure. We have a public holiday on Monday. Maybe I'm gonna do a little bit of streaming on Sunday as well. Yeah, let's see. So guys, have a good night and see you then. Bye bye.